okay? She might have missed Kespa Cup as BNK are going to choose second pick.
Some second pickers in the chat. Okay, this is interesting because we haven't necessarily seen this work just yet. Nongshim have decided to hop on over to the blue side, so they will have first pick and blue side, which is, you know, normally that's kind of what you want. Sunke today, he's got such a beautiful voice to listen to, I believe. He is flanked by Cloud Templar and Umpty on the Korean broadcast. Man, that is stacked.
Here we go.
Thankfully, they're not like competing with us on Twitch or YouTube anymore, so we can big up the Korean broadcast as much as we want.
We're not going to get any King and Rumble in this first game, and something tells me we probably won't be getting it in this series, or maybe not for a while, for more series to come, as we'll see second selection here for BNK, or second pick. So they actually have the R5.
When are we?
More clearly,
is it ever going to be not awkward to talk about the first selection, first pick, side pick selection?
I was thinking, my shower thoughts moment today was trying to figure out, is like ROFS easier to say than right of first selection? I'm like, no, actually it really is. I don't know, we're going to have to figure something out.
We'll work on it. We'll
Maybe
work on it throughout the season.
Is Roths roll off the tongue?
Whoa.
Malphite.
Rock.
Malphite. Man, Jason said a Malphite.
The pause has really broken my brain, but that is going to be a sponge rock.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite work, does it?
Could be a porous, porous rock.
Oh, true. Like coral or something like that, you know, from the ocean. No, it's
limestone?
Yeah, no, there is like a very specific like volcanic rock that does look like a sponge.
Yeah, it's not pyrite, is it?
I have no idea what it's called.
Let's back to this draft, though.
If anyone in chat knows exactly what the spongy-looking rock is called, please let us know. If you're a geologist, you probably are not watching. But if you are, please let us know.
They did not pick one of the safer AD carry options into the Malphite. I mean, Yunara has a dash when she's in her ultimate, I guess. But they could have picked Corki and tried to dominate the lane and play through that instead. But they are playing this hyper carry into a Malphite.
Pumice!
Aphelios.
Pumice is the name.
Pumice, that's right, that's right. Thank you.
What is this? Daijo DJ. Thank you so much.
That's exactly the rock I had in mind.
Good luck on the decks.
That's exactly the rock I had in mind. All right, it's all fair.
And Brendan Valdez just pointed out that coral is not a rock. However, it does kind of...
Yeah, it's actually a living...
Yes, it is.
I wasn't going to say anything.
When it's not alive anymore, it is rock-like, okay?
I wasn't going to say anything,
yeah,
Valdez
definitely did.
So we're turning this Yunara comp into a dive comp now, where Vikla pulls out his famed Ahri, and, you know, there has been famed on both sides. Some great games, some less great games. They have the Nautilus. They're going to look to try to, you know, just get on top of this Aphelios and blow him up, and hope that the Yarn does not get caught by the Malphite or a shove in the process. It's a little janky of a draft here so far for BNK, whereas the identity, I think, a little bit more clear on the side of Nongshim Red Force.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, the priority on the Nautilus for me.
Also, the Thresh probably should be banned here since it's an Aphelios comp and you're running Ahri.
Yep.
So probably you want to be able to have the Thresh to keep him alive.
Lehens was the guy that was playing Thresh when Griffin came up with the really cool like Impale Lantern strategy like 15 years ago or something. But he was that guy. That's what launched them into fame, the very beginning of the Griffin days.
Now if you ban Thresh, they just play Lulu though, right? They banned Nico, which was another thing I actually kind of forgot when I got this deep into the draft.
That got through.
I feel like Nongshim Red Force have so many angles here. There's so many different things they can play that actually feel all great right now. Aphelios is incredibly strong on this patch. And the Ambessa is taken away. It's another tool for dive that's gone. Mundo's surprised about that. A lot of people are saying they don't think Mundo is that strong in this meta, but will be taken away from Raptor.
Yep. Seen a bit of it looked at.
Also doesn't really suit this draft that much to me, but they're going to take the Lulu themselves.
Wait. Where's Nautilus going? That's
Jungle?
fun. Is Raptor, like, is he cooking in game one? That's really cool. Okay, well, unless Clear is going to be playing at top lane, that is going to be a Naut jungle. It's been a while since we've seen it. Did used to dabble in the jungle. I think it was more recently outside of support, a mid laner. All right, Sion going to be the look here for Kingin. Not exactly the most fun.
But it makes a ton of sense when you're running this Aphelios comp.
Yep.
And
it
feels very safe.
Put some big tanky boys around the blender. That's what you kind of want to do. Let's see what Lehens is going to be picking up here. Going to be picking for himself.
I mean, Thresh is not going to feel great into Lulu, but it's not Lulu, so I think it's fine.
I think it's just singed. I think it's probably a singed
Okay,
game.
Karma Aphelios, just to shut down the Lulu. No, it's not Lulu. I don't really understand why they're going to go for the Karma here, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it adds range, right? So pretty much what you want to do is fight for lane priority, and that's what they're doing. Karma is sort of the classic, like, I can win lane style champion.
Yeah,
Imagine
I mean,
that's sort of the school of
it's
thought.
a neutralizer for sure, and can get you a pretty big advantage over the Nautilus. If that, we don't know where this is going, but let's find out.
Yep.
It's Rek'Sai in the top lane. If it's Lulu in the bottom lane, which
I mean, it is.
yeah, I mean, I was like, is there some Lulu tech in the jungle?
I mean, is Peanut here? Is Spirit here? Because they were the Lulu junglers. If you watch the Lulu Champion Spotlight, Freak does say that you can build a Trinity Force and player in the jungle.
I'm going to be honest, I feel like I overthought this draft a lot for the side of B&K. I thought we were going to see something crazy. I was even trying to consider, like, is there any way where you can play Lulu into Scion? But
it is Nautilus jungle. So yeah. there is that.
It is Nautilus jungle with Ahri, which actually feels pretty good if you can connect your dredge lines and set up charms that way. And that is certainly a strong setup. Trying to get on top of this Aphelios through the insane front line, though. Nautilus hook doesn't reach that far. Karma doesn't protect you the same way that it would in a... Right? Honestly, it doesn't protect you at all, like the way a Thresh would, but if you're laning into Lulu, then that's a tough time. They just want to neutralize that, to get the bottom lane quest online, get the Aphelios to 2-3 items. You get the quest, you get that big surge of gold, you get more gold for minions and takedowns. Try to get the Aphelios online here for Taeyun. And for this comp, it's a dive, sort of, with the Yunara on top of it.
Yeah. I'm very interested in how this one is going to go. I think Raptor has certainly been cooking a little bit, but on this patch, you can kind of jungle everything. Who was it? Was it a Vandral?
Diablo's not even going to play, Atlas.
Oh, wow. Diablo's insane. We do have the zoom in on the fact that he is just not there.
Guys, all right.
Oh, no.
You know what? I've been waiting for this because we've been having a lot of bathroom pauses while I'm not here. Guess what, Diablo? Wolf's here this time.
Yeah.
You got to go before. Okay.
Yeah. Made sure that was happening. There it is. Okay, welcome back, guys.
I'll go to the bathroom later. But then you have like 3 dodges, and you're kind of like, ooh, it's getting a little long. Sorry to interrupt the fan cheers. It's not been the smoothest start to our second series, Atlas.
I like that you interrupted one fan chant, caught yourself, and then just went ahead and interrupted.
Well, you got to make it even.
That's a good point.
I got to be impartial. What do you think? I'm just going to interrupt Nongshim only?
I just want to let everyone know that both of the fan chants went through perfectly, and there was nothing that you missed. So there that is. All right, here we are. We are onto the Rift. We are seeing... I went to have a look at what Nautilus jungle is building right now, and I cannot see any Nautilus jungle that's really being played by anyone. So we'll just have to see what Raptor is going to do.
I didn't say anything about it before because I'm not 100% sure, but I had like this false memory maybe that Nautilus jungle was buffed a little bit when they gave everyone jungle stats. Like, remember when they made Jace a jungler and when Ambassador was a jungler? Yeah. I thought perhaps Nautilus was also on that list, but...
I think
it was so long ago, I don't remember.
He may have got the buffs a while ago, and it just wasn't enough to actually make it into anything.
Well, I think when you consider how this draft was looking, they were like, okay, we're going for a little bit of a dive comp. Also, we don't want to lose lane.
Taeyun's ghosting. Kellen's getting the heck out of there, and does manage to shield himself up. We have to remember that there are shields on both sides. There's no true sustain for either team, but this Calibrum is putting in a lot of work here as Diablo's really getting shoved around.
If we theorycraft a little bit in the draft, they picked the Lulu before picking the Rek'Sai, right? And perhaps if they had kept the Lulu hidden, they wouldn't have been landing into a Karma for the Lulu for their tech swap of the Nautilus. It feels like kind of a
they
miss.
also wanted to deny the Lulu from Lehens, right? Like, Lehens is a fantastic Lulu player, and then that would have been another enchanter that could have really helped this Aphelios. So maybe that's more the thought.
Yeah, it's not a positive result for them at this very moment in time.
No. We're not seeing it really working out as Nongshim have the shove entirely here towards this bottom side. A 10 CS advantage here for Taeyun. And so far, so good here for the Nongshim bottom lane as they will be able to get, their first crash, first plate, and already about a 200 gold lead here for the Aphelios in lane. And that's going to scale quite comfortably alongside this Yunara as well. So a little bit of a scary start. Not exactly end of the world or anything like that. You can see only 100 gold is the lead across the board.
Yeah, starting to build up a little bit of an advantage. Raptor is seen on this ward, so not really much he can do to impact this, especially because Sponge is also here.
Yep, some tanks going to spot one another here as they move into the river.
A very funny little interaction now around the scuttle, but with the bottom side prio here, Raptor's going to have to run top.
Yeah,
he does have mid prio at least.
Land's moving up. As Raptor is going to back up Vikla, who is taking a fair bit of damage. Does mean that this crab is going to be successfully taken by Sponge. He's going to look to go back as well. As now BNK, fresh off a bit of a reset here. It's just a cull for Diablo. And Scout just channeling the back here. I think was never intending to actually go home, doing it right in front.
So, first consolation cull of the season.
Yeah. And honestly, respect. I think it sounds like a good idea. They've been having a bit of trouble in that lane so far.
Calm down, Karma.
Yeah.
Karma is a chatty support.
She certainly is. I mean, it's no Lissandra. Thankfully, we're not in a Lissandra meta anymore. As in Korea, that is definitely a more difficult one.
I think only Ezreal understands what Karma is saying. Like, the other 80 carries are just like, I have
Does he have
no
a map
idea
to know what she's saying?
Yeah, is that how it works?
I don't think that's how it works. This pause really has broken my brain a little bit, I'm not going to lie. It's a difficult one.
You mean the multiple pauses, of course, thanks to
yeah.
some certain players who did not go to the bathroom before the
dear.
All right. So, the lane is lost. The CS is starting to stack up, but at least they have the Cole to fall back on, as we'll have a little bit of a tussle up here. No ultimates yet.
Yep. King doing a pretty good job. You can see Clear taking some bites out of the Scion over and over again. And as this lane goes on, the Rek'Sai is just going to be more and more immovable.
Yeah, this is a really common response to the Scion. I've seen it all throughout the end of 2025, where it became meta again when Scion was king for a little while.
Yep.
We'll see what Malphite can get done at level 6. Obviously, that's where he's actually starts to impact lanes. Otherwise, he just kind of covers. And he does have his Kendall Gem online. The rest of that first, you go Zeke's. That's the thing. That's the new meta. We've seen a few other different builds with like Malignants for full AP, but in Pro, I think it's going to be Zeke's Convergence. Inevitably. Lehens?
Getting slowed down by that Slurkle quite a bit, as he does manage to connect the tether onto Kellen. Gravitum doing a fair bit of work there as well as Taeun turns up. Kellen's still sticking around, but Sponge is here. Only level 5, so doesn't have the unstoppable force just yet, but there's the Nautilus in the area. And Raptor not really going to be able to offer too much back, especially with this Lulu so incredibly low. It's a dangerous prospect to go for a 3v3 here. So another plate likely to go over to Nongshim here, as we can see.
Yeah, just really stacking up the advantage in this bottom lane with the Karma pick. And, you know, it's not going to be safety. Like, I was kind of trying to eventually figure out how to say that into words while we were having a lot of pauses earlier. It's not going to be a lot of safety against the dive, but it is so incredibly powerful to get your bottom lane ahead. And that has just been the name of the game here on 26.1.
Oh, Sponge taking a little bit of damage here from Raptor as he got Diablo moving over. Lehens is very low as the Slurkle comes in, and now Vikla has popped the ulti. Great Dredge Line is going to connect. The Charm lands as well, and that is First Blood going over to Diablo. Now Taeun has the Chakram stacked up, but it is not enough as Vikla is going to grab that Essence back to heal himself up, and Flash has to be used from Lehens. BNK draw First Blood, and they do a great job of it.
I mean, this is a kind of scrappy fight where the Ahri is going to shine, has a setup CC, and even in the early game, deceptively strong is Yunara in these skirmishes. Has a lot of support here. And, I mean, Lehens is incredibly low at the outset of this. Look at the mid lane. Like, where is the Talia? Showing up after the fight is already won. Vikla gets an extra ult charge, flashes away here. Taeun is taken out. Lehens is running away with his tail between his legs here. Has to use his flash as well. Just a really good roam from Vikla there, and a fight that Nongshim should not have been forcing at this point without their Malphite ultimate.
Yeah, and theoretically, with Weaver's Wall, Scout should have been able to get there very comfortably, but I think Vikla had control of the wave at that point in time, and the early Spirit Rush was allowing him to get in there. But honestly, Raptor hitting his first Dredge Line, that's what did it. And really beautifully done here by BNK, showing that early aggression in these skirmishes that we know and love from this team. And this is the squad that has not changed, right? And they were getting better and better as the 2025 season went on. And I'm really glad that they kept this roster together, because I felt like they were slow and steadily improving over the year. Looking forward that we get to see even more from this squad. As now Taeun with some red-white guns, so feeling a bit dangerous despite the lack of range. But now with a BF sword in the inventory.
That's the real thing. He's got that plus red-white, so one might have otherwise wanted to look for an all-in, but doesn't have 6. As another hook hits.
Yeah, fantastic one as well, as there is the flick back onto Vikla, but Scout's still in a fair bit of trouble. Raptor's still looking for it, but doesn't quite get another auto.
He did not commit his ultimate there either.
Wow.
Interestingly, I feel like he certainly could have.
Yeah, I feel like that. No flash had been used by Scout yet, so maybe not wanting to use it because the flash was still up. Bit strange. Probably could have been a way to at least get the flash. Never mind.
Either way, it still gets a huge win in the mid lane, and we'll be able to take the grubs off of it. As here comes Sponge, they want to turn this into a dragon in exchange on the bottom side with the prio they still have with this Karma. Now they have level 6 with Taeun.
Yeah. And Raptor is just going to be taking out these grubs. Vikla work at them as well, as we can see.
They're pinging, please help. Vikla's trying to come over here, and he might be able to get here just in time. And all the time Sponge spins trying to threaten the dive but not going for it means that they're not actually doing the dragon.
Yep. And Lahen's taking a bit of damage here from Diablo as well, who is feeling a whole lot better now that he has a 400 gold lead after those 2 kills did come on through for him. We do have the rock coming down though, unstoppable force available. He finds the Yunara, and Diablo flashes and still dies. Very unfortunate stuff, as Kellen will be able to survive. Just the single pick there with a large investment, but still they get their prize.
It's a really tricky call in Diablo's defense, you know, on the initial flash, because if you can flash the ultimate, if you can react that quickly, that might be what saves you. But if you use it there, then you're like, okay, well now I die in the next fight when the Malphite ultimate comes through. Flashing late though, that one a little bit more difficult to defend, as he thought maybe it would buy him enough space. It did not. He doesn't have a ton of information, but he knows now, okay, Malphite's coming, does not flash the initial ultimate. Survives here thinking he has enough, but just ends up getting taken out by a ranged attack from Taeun. If it was only a Malphite that was attacking him, that flash would have made sense. Yeah. Now he doesn't have it for potentially a follow-up in an upcoming fight. So Nongshim back on the board here. We'll be able to take this dragon, however, B&K in return.
Nicely done. So already this Nautilus has kind of worked out. Only 100 gold behind after that dive does come on through, and that is grubs on the board as well. So nicely done here.
Oh, man. Oh, Vandal pipes already.
Whoa. Okay.
Vandal pipes on the Nautilus. We're getting attack speed. Everyone's attacking fast. Nautilus is going to be putting out the CC. We should have known. I was like, yeah, Nautilus jungle is a problem.
I can kind of see it.
Vandal pipes exist.
I can kind of see Nautilus playing the bagpipes. You know, obviously they're under the suit. But I can see that. I think it's got like a bagpipey type vibe.
Doesn't it kind of require a lot more dexterity than I think Nautilus's fingers would allow,
well,
though?
I mean, you just don't know how much dexterity they have inside those metal gloves. You know, maybe inside those metal gloves, there are actually bagpipes.
Yeah, maybe it's...
Or Vandal pipes.
Maybe it's Nautilus and Strongbad, the best Vandal pipes players.
Exactly. It's just like, he's a closet Scottish guy, just in a suit.
Yeah, get the box
Currently
gloves
an
out.
astronaut.
Okay, this is a 3v3 here that looks like will not come to pass, but definitely an angle potentially there for Raptor to look for something. Fortunately, not able to find it, and we kind of reset. Yep. As I think maybe Coach Comms were used. I actually did not catch, but...
Perhaps cinematic mode on us again, which I really like. Raptor level behind here, as he does get a little bit of a snare onto Sponge. You've got fights on multiple fronts. The Slurkle comes down, though, as Sponge actually eating a lot of damage. There's the depth charge for the double knockups, and Vikla looks for the angle, and they find Taeun out of nowhere! How did that even happen?
This was a bit of a disaster. Nongshim Scout doesn't, again, is unable to get Prio and arrive. TP's in late.
I mean, it's really hard to match the global presence of an Ahri Wolf.
Yeah, also the fact that there's a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Also just leaves the Aphelios out to dry as well. He's like, I'm ulting out. You're dead, by the way. And Sponge is just like, you know what? I see Scout still hasn't TP'd. I see Scout still hasn't TP'd. I see Scout is just now TP'ing. I'm out of here, bro.
No.
You ain't charming me, man.
Away from the charm and just throws Taeun under the bus.
The saddest part is Taeun had flash as well. But like, how could he have predicted this Malphite would just do him like that?
Yeah. Oh,
how could he have known?
Goodness. Wow, he got sponged. Sometimes you just get sponged. You can't really, sometimes you can't help it.
You would think a sponge would soak the charm.
Yeah.
Instead.
And Raptor the whole time was just playing his pipes, having a great time.
With immense dexterity.
Yes, exactly. And you wouldn't even know that he's playing them because the fingers on the metal gloves don't even move. Oh, it's so cool. All right.
Supposing he plays it with the giant dredge slime.
That's where the bag is, I think. I'm not entirely sure. We'll have
this
to work
was
out the
kind
mechanics later as Taeyeon misses a cannon, unfortunately. Kingen does manage to knock down a bunch of health, but doesn't quite get the second plate.
Okay, so... Okay, we might have some action here. I'm gonna wait a second. But if the Malphite ults aggressively there to try to save the play, I don't think it necessarily works, but it might have been able to. Hold on, we're gonna have a fight.
Yeah, Diablo is definitely fighting. This is what he wants to do. Another depth charge is going to connect on to Taeyeon. Is there the follow-up? Oh, good sidestep. No dredge line for Raptor this time.
And no flash required for the Aphelios. Raptor had to use his, so ends up being a trade up here for sure.
Yep, really nicely done. Scout is also this time going to be able to catch Vikler in transition, which is definitely something he hasn't quite been able to do so far this game.
Scout fans were waiting for this guy to come back to Korea for a really long time, and it feels like they're still waiting in this game.
Or at least waiting for him to come down to bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll do it this time. He's got his Weaver's Wall. They're trying to make a play. Not quite there, but they're going to get all the plates.
Oh, yeah. This is crescendum into a turret, and that means that one is going to be a lot of plates. Scout now going to take a fair bit of damage as he does face check a charm. But Taeyeon going to be able to claim that first turret as well. Once again, extra gold.
Yeah.
And so that is going to put them ahead by about 500, which is not too bad.
The top lane quests have been completed, but we don't really want to watch this one.
Yeah, Scout's still waiting for his mid lane quest to be done as well. So Vikler is already there on that one. Malignance is now done, but Rod of Ages is now ticking up for Scout. And so a very even game, honestly. And there was that slight gold advantage built up by Nongshim by taking that outer turret, but since the reset, B&K have been able to put a bunch of that money back into their coffers. So nicely done.
It's a pretty much dead even game in terms of gold. The Aphelios sitting on red-white here for this dragon fight, potentially, as the setup is not there without Scout. Does get his boots now. Still hasn't finished his quest, so doesn't get tier 3 on them, but is going to run back as fast as he can. Weaver's Wall at the ready, but if the rest of this game is any indication, I'm not sure if he's going to use it. The rest of the team is kind of posturing like, please use it! We need you to be here!
B&K teleport, another teleport to come through from Nongshim. There's the unstoppable force onto only Raptor. He stays alive for a very long time as now Scout turns up as well. Taeyeon's going to get knocked up. The double knockups as the Rek'Sai makes his way, and Taeyeon survived for a very long time but will be taken out. And the Yunara is starting to pop off until she dies. Now Scout getting amongst it, and Kellen cannot actually help out. Will Vikler be able to land the charm? That's the question. No, he gets flicked back and destroyed. And Nongshim are able to answer back beautifully. Still clear is fighting, and Scout will survive. And that will mean that they will be the victors in this particular battle. But man, still a pretty close one, all things considered.
Yeah, it really was. If they don't get that kill onto Diablo there, that could have been a disaster. But Scout does finally show up, ends up having that really nice flick. And ultimately, it's a trade up here. And the Dragon does go over to Nongshim. So it's up working out for them. We'll see the quest now completed for Scout as well. So look at this, he has to clear the wave in mid. Vikler has a flank angle here, but he's not actually able to initially impact the play. It's actually the engage from Sponge. It gets onto Raptor, puts him low, which guarantees the Dragon's going to go over. On the other side of the fight, it's a wild growth here onto Taeyeon, forces him back. He gets taken out, but Diablo is just so incredibly low. Kingen actually getting that secure the kill really turned things around, and Scout's able to defend himself. I thought we had something happening in live, but
not quite.
No, not really. Ultimately, this ends up being a win for Nongshim, as we just saw moments before. Clear really wants to get the kill here on the Scout, forces him to flash. Good flash angle. He does escape, but the flash is still expended.
Yeah, really well played by Scout, though, in that last fight. Really saving it for Nongshim. So showing up where it counts, we've got a Herald crash into this outer turret on the top side, and Nongshim getting even more plate gold there. Clear will show up. I don't know whether this tower is actually going to go down, because the knockup does come on through onto Sponge.
He has Gravitum, so it's kind of hard to do anything here.
Yeah. As all right, Raptor, a dredge line that doesn't even really help his mobility too much there, as we saw. But still, Nongshim now with Kingen on the bottom lane, going to be pushing up towards this inner turret, and Nongshim kind of running them around the map at the moment. B&K, a team that is known for really wanting to skirmish.
Yeah, they like to kill the champions. They don't do as much of the killing of the turrets in the side lanes. It's a Scion, though, so even though Kingen had a lot of free time here, won't necessarily be punished too much. A few minions go by the wayside, and that's the end of it. He is on a flank angle here, but I don't think he necessarily is going to be able to turn that into anything.
Yeah, Kellen going to get knocked up, though, as we can see here. Looks for it. And Kellen is extremely squishy. Still going to survive, was very close to the turret and had Raptor and Diablo there to back him up. Vikla also now on an angle looking for a little bit of an approach, but was spotted on a ward and pinged out here by Nongshim.
All right, well, they're going to try to push Kingen away. They will be successful at it. We just kind of reset here. And at the end of the day, you know, you can see the gold here. It's about 1,000, the advantage of Nongshim.
Yep.
But the scaling questions we have get really interesting in this one because it's Yunara versus Aphelios. Aphelios with a Storm Razor, relatively safe, going for a pen and a second item to deal with this front line. Has the Karma for shielding, but I think otherwise this Yunara is set up for great success. A single target pull up onto this Aphelios that doesn't have a Thresh in this game. Like, so much of the peel tools here are normally used as pick tools. Like, Scout will have to use his flip and his rocks defensively. Sponge may even need to ult defensively, and then it's Kingen who's the front line here. So I think Taeyun has a really tough game to play here. We'll always have to keep an eye on both AD carries' flashes. They both flashed in that last fight, so both don't have it right now, but we'll have it relatively soon. But when the flash is down, you are vulnerable. Speaking of vulnerable.
Yeah. Clear is just going to take a little bit of a tunnel out here, but Scout is going to be able to catch him. Doesn't hit the seismic shove, but it won't really matter. Taeyun, he's got some red-white guns and will be able to cut down Clear, as we can see. It does take a little bit of time, but they will get there in the end. Let's see whether BNK can actually make anything of this, and the answer is no, because the teleport from Kingen is going to come on through.
I mean, at least
so Nongshim once again just running them around the map.
At least Vikla gets something back here on the top side. He'll pop that corrosion and grab 2 plates, it looks like here, but does not feel like it's worth in comparison, as Aphelios already headed back to mid lane, and Kingen is going to be able to come up to the top lane pretty quickly. Macro mistakes can be punished so heavily with these home guards right now. You really have to be very careful. As you can see, even Scout gets a huge shoved wave into that turret there in the bottom side of the map as well. Baron up in 30 seconds here, but it's going to take a lot more, I think, than just the kind of slow play we've seen in this mid-game to start that one up right now, even though both of these carries do a ton of damage, the 80 carries in particular.
Yeah, there is also 25 seconds on the Drake as well. Cloud Soul this game, the extra movement speed, you can imagine for Taeyun's going to feel absolutely fantastic.
Kingen is just once again left in the side, pushing another wave through. There's no answer.
Is just kind of, speaking of no answer, not really with too much to do here as he's trying to get himself out. Redemption going to be helping him, but unfortunately, the rock is just cut down. Now Clear on that angle, wants to get on top of Taeyun where he can, but he takes the blast cone to get to safety. This should mean that BNK can grab themselves their second Drake of the game.
A bunch of pings tossed onto Kingen here as well. See if they can maybe collapse on him if he wants to try to go for the flank. I mean, this is going to be a tough contest to sell.
Yeah. The Weave as well does come on through here as now Nongshim with Kingen in that front line. He's very, very tanky. For BNK, they have the man advantage. Hook is going to connect onto Lehens, but he's now going to take the Nautilus for a walk. In goes Clear. There's the Wild Growth combo as Taeyun's going to get dove on. He does get a shield. He's trying to take Taeyun down, and he does manage to do it in the end, but he will actually be biting the dust himself. Kingen eating so much damage and will be able to survive. The Nongshim, they lose their 80 carry. Sponge is making his way back, though, and BNK are not going to be able to do this dragon.
Yeah, this is actually insane that what Taeyun was able to accomplish there with very little. I mean, he gets the shield, is barely able to survive long enough there. They get the trade onto the Clear. If he had better guns there, because his red-white expired, I think he might have actually been able to get even more work done there. But ultimately, like you say, it is going to be the dragon going over to Nongshim as a result of this scrappy skirmish. I want to watch Diablo in this fight because it felt like he really didn't do that much damage. Just going to walk through these rocks slowly, and as there's too many threats, he's actually just kind of hitting this Scion here. Kingen does a ton to peel for him. Because in the initial fight, I was watching Clear and the Aphelios, right, Taeyun, but Diablo just really could not actually get close enough to hit anybody valuable here. Kingen did a lot of work in that fight. Great peel for Taeyun despite his death. 100% was worth it here for Nongshim.
Yeah, and the huge Scion with like the massive amounts of armor is quite difficult for this Yunara to actually kill. Doesn't quite have the armor penetration built up just yet. It's Clear just getting out of the way of Kingen, who is 2-0-1 on this Scion. Man, like, he is just very scary.
He also, has spent a ton of extra time in the side lane, and with the quests, that adds up. He has a whole level advantage over Clear.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Sponge, though, in a lot of trouble. There's the depth charge connecting onto Lehens. Sponge, the onslaught is not quite going to work. The unstoppable force, I should say, is now Scout could be in a little bit of trouble as Vikla looking to chase him down. There's the unstoppable onslaught that I was talking about before, as Kingen is going to look for it, channels the cube, but Vikla stays golden for a very long time. There goes the Aphelios as well. It's Diablo's turn to pop off in this game. He got past Kingin and was able to actually do damage. Kingin is still there though, you have to be very careful, Diablo, but he's able to now run his way out. And finally, B&K going to get themselves to a gold advantage off the back of a skirmish.
Kind of feel like we picked up right where we left off at LCK CUP with King and his like, man, I'm trying. this fight was
and
so
on Sion as well.
Look at Kingan's angle he comes in on too in this fight. As obviously the initial engage is a little bit messy. The Aphelios ultimate not really high value. He's hitting Kellen, doesn't get the kill. But the angle when Kingan shows up is actually kind of perfect for Vikla's chase here. He almost hits the Ahri. Now he has this angle on him, so they're trying to focus Vikla down right. Scout is incredibly low, gets taken out here, and then Taeyun just sends it to try to get into the back line, but is unfortunately just not able to do it. There's too many B&K members here. Kingan almost, right? Like, it's like he could not have done more, and he wasn't even there for half the time. But yeah, this fight was just incredibly broken up. B&K had better tools. Their comp is so good in these scraps.
Yeah, and they just have a lot of follow-up CC as well. Like, there's a Karma, and on the other side, there's a Lulu. And the wild growth adds to these fights so much.
Yeah.
It's unavoidable CC. Oh, God. Yeah, speaking of which, Taeyun is just dead once again. And the Malphite is not really doing what it said it was supposed to when I read that this champion is broken. As Kingan, he has so much. Level 16 Sion is just insanity. However, a lot of the damage is now gone. It's only really Scout that's doing too much. And B&K, they could rotate back towards the Baron if they would like to. It looks like that is not what they're into right now.
They want to get this turret first at least.
Yep.
And that's going to go down.
Oh, he's going to connect as well as Kingan once again trying to tank, but it's Scout that they want to take down first. Slurkle to try and stop him from getting out. Seismic Shove connects onto Diablo, but that's only going to actually gap close as he really does just want to kill Kingan. Not going to quite work out just yet. He now has Lord Doms completed as well. My God.
Like, the sale said 180 carry plus 2 TPs. Look at this. Taeyun dies, so they get double TP, and then both solo laners who show up here for Nongshim are like, it's like the guy with the pizza, you know, that meme?
Yeah.
They're like, well, you know, maybe we just let this turret go, actually. And unfortunately, Taeyun dying instantly means that there's just no way to win that fight. Like, Scout did his best, Kingan did his best to try to kind of keep it interesting and deny the Baron, which they were successfully able to do, but for how long is the real question, as this game is starting to feel... it's not about the scaling, it's not about the comp diff, it's just the way that B&K are playing. Their coordination seems so much stronger. When they have map control, they're finding picks everywhere, and Nongshim are just not able to scrap with this team right now.
It's not quite working.
Getting outplayed.
And this is exactly what B&K have always been known for, right? I'm really glad that they have stuck to their identity, even though they lost their coach. They've now got Cartwright, a coach, and he's all about going fast, getting stuff done.
Yeah, they're drifting into this one.
They really are.
I gotta say, like, the 2-item spike normally for Diablo is you end up getting that belt that gives you a big ult, but you know, it was hard to deal with the Sion. Now he has LDR. Now he can deal with the Sion. And Diablo is ready to fight.
Well, Weave as well going to try and break up this fight as there's a knock-up onto Taeyun into the backline. Goes Vikla, breaks the chains there as well as Raptor looking to flash out of the way, and it's successful. Clear will be able to get into the backline as he looks for Taeyun once again, but he's kiting as best he can. Diablo trying to stay alive as Sponge down so incredibly low. Kingan wants to be able to take him out, but the Arc of Ruin is so powerful, and Kingan is dead. Diablo still alive. They do deal with the Rek'Sai as both top laners are now dead, and now Kingan, as the zombie version, still wanting to get some work done. Low health bars for both of these 80 carries, and in fact, everyone on Nongshim is limping into this one, but it is a 4 versus 4, and Raptor is caught off onto the side. Slurkle comes through, Taeyun trying to hit that moonshot, but will not quite be able to connect it. The charm! And down goes the Aphelios. It's a disaster for Nongshim. Look away, Korean viewers. Oh, the boo effect is happening real bad here at the end of this game, as now Diablo trying to run this one off, does manage to get shielded up, as Scout may have overextended the flash from the hands. Diablo's missed. How is this guy still alive? He finds the cooldowns. They go everywhere else other than him, and Diablo is able to lock down his target. And now Vikla has another Spirit Rush, so he'll use that to take down Scout. My God, what a fight.
I mean, what a fight. Who says LCK is not a hands region? Watch those moments. Okay, so initially, we're going to have coach voice for some reason, but I really wanted to watch the replay of that fight, as this is actually the B&K call
교환해도 너무 좋을 것 같아. 원딜 템포 차이 난다. 알겠지?
네. 탈리아기 선턴. 나 이거 한라인 받고 집
So we're basically talking about the item builds here. So, or the item spikes.
Yeah.
The LDR is done for Diablo. So both AD carries actually survive the onslaught, right? As you see, Scout and his crew is trying to peel for Taeun. Diablo also gets collapsed on by Kingen and Sponge. So kite back for both AD carries is fantastic, right? The Wild Growth keeps Diablo alive. It's massive. If he dies there, this is a complete wash for BNK, right? Taeun ultimately, ends up dying, though, in the ensuing fight, because it's a tightrope walk that he and Diablo have to walk, but Diablo has multiple forms of CC to back him up. He's playing it so carefully, so slow. Kite's back, he has this Ludo to give him some little additional speed and shielding.
But Nongshim's position here is so much better with Raptor off to the side.
But then Vikla gets the CC, right? And it's that overstep there.
Yeah.
It's that one moment that decides everything. Because once the AD carry's gone, they're like, okay, no one can catch Diablo. Like, he's super low, but no one can hit him.
Well, now BNK once again on a flank angle, as you can see clear, looking for Taeun once more. Just finds the ulti to dive on forward, but Vikla, he's the one caught out on the other side, but my god! The Aphelios just exploded! Diablo is doing so much damage now. Kingen is melting as Diablo, I think he may have hit critical mass as he collects himself a triple kill. And this Yunara is, 13, 2, and 6. All right,
He has a supporting cast, and it feels like on Nongshim that just the same can't be said for Taeun. He's constantly being focused down. He has 8 deaths in this game, and he has to step forward at some point to try to do damage, but there's just too much CC on the B&K side, and this Yunara is just too big to fail. He hit that LDR, and shortly afterwards, IE straight in the pocket and a pickaxe on top of it. That Baron is not going to last at all against this much firepower.
I just want to reiterate, congratulations to B&K for holding on to Diablo from 2025 to 2026.
They kept Raptor, they kept Diablo. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, incredible stuff. And Nongshim Coach Voice is just trying to pick up the pieces here in this game.
I think if I caught that, saying watch for the Rex side, cover for the Aphelios a little bit more. In this situation, what can Taeun do? There's just too much CC. Vikla is on the other side of this fight, but that means there's no Malphite here. There's no peel. Malphite's not supposed to peel necessarily, but there's just nothing for the Aphelios, whereas Diablo's got all the resources, and Vikla dying there means nothing when your AD carry that's incredibly fed cleans up the fight. 5,000 gold in the lead now, 13 kills, and B&K are very comfortably in the lead in this one.
Yeah, looking really good. Vikla didn't manage to collect a Baron, but of course didn't die during that, so we can see the Baron power play from Red Bull is sitting at about 2,000. We did have Orcs let us know that, of course, it is half the gold when you do take the Baron, but you can see now with the advantage that B&K has, it is only going to balloon as they take more and more of these structures off the map, and that's the real value.
And look at Clear, he's caught up that full level of XP that Kingen had over him in this game.
All right, Weave as well, just to play defensively here, but still plates are falling down left, right, and center. Raptor off on an angle, is spotted there by, I believe, a Scryer's Bloom. But they can back off to the Dragon immediately after this Baron as well. It's really good timing, actually. As, all right, Flash Unstoppable Force comes on in. There's the Wild Growth to try and keep Diablo alive, but it's not going to work. Vikla's dead as well. That's the combo that they've been looking for.
And, I mean, if you could take both carries out with a single 1-2 punch, you might be able to actually win the game. They're going to just push down mid with this massive wave, take these turrets out, and it's going to be 40 seconds till Vikla's back up, and that might have just been the 1-2 punch that brings Nongshim to the lead here. Now, 30 seconds left here.
Not. They can't just win
later,
off
they still
this,
have this wave. They do not have their ultimates, so if those respawns come through.
And it's crescendo, it does so much damage to these turrets.
They have to buy time somehow, some way. They don't have the Raptor ultimate. They have Clear.
I think now that there's 2 Nexus turrets to deal with, I don't think this is going to be enough. They should be able to get rid of the wave, but
just barely they defend.
Nongshim, man, incredible stuff. Now that Rebel Baron power play is down to -800.
Yeah, that was a big turnaround, you could say. As we move into this again, it's just an overstep. Flash, ult, Flash Unstoppable Force, Wild Growth, nice try. Definitely not enough to stop that much damage. Red-white here for Taeun, but it doesn't even feel necessary. And they're both just stacked on top of each other, maybe just misreading the engage range of that Malphite with the Flash ult.
Beautifully done. And I think they may have gotten a little bit complacent because honestly, I don't think Sponge has really been finding too many of these angles so far this game.
It's the first big one. Like,
Yeah.
he's 1, 6, and 8.
Yeah, he hasn't been having a good time. But B&K, they will be able to get themselves a soul point here as Scout is going to be able to take down this outer turret towards the top side of the map. B&K do answer that with the Dragon. Somewhat even trade, and they still have about a 2.5k gold lead. Things still great here for B&K. Shield bow now done here for Diablo as well, looking at another item. So it's going to be like the classic 6-item 80 carry.
Yeah, we're actually getting close to the, oh, we got the extra boot slot, and it's going to be really relevant here.
Yes.
I think
game GA would be good.
The game state here is really difficult to define because the extra prio that this mid inhibitor is going to grant Nongshim, the lack of mid inhibitor, is going to grant Nongshim the super minions they have, is going to be very relevant up until the Baron spawns. And if they can get a Baron, they get map control for the rest of the game, then suddenly, you know, it feels very playable. And Diablo doesn't have flash. If he gets hit by another unstoppable force, I mean, the game can, I mean, and will, in fact, just end this time around. So needs to be really careful, where he has otherwise been so incredibly careful and great at walking the tightrope in this game. That was just a really unfortunate moment there and a great proactive play from Sponge.
Well, there's another hook. It's going to connect as they're looking for the pick, and they will be able to find Lahans. Now the rest of Nongshim are going to turn up. This time Taeyun is still alive, but man, the Orb of Deception is doing damage. The hook from downtown, the double knock-up, and Aphelios just explodes! What the heck was that? This time Diablo's alive, and he lets them know as it is only King left up, and he is walking the other direction as now it's B&K's turn to try and end this game. And he's not going to be able to teleport out of that one. And there is going to be the ace. Yunara picks it up 16, 3 and 7 for Diablo. And when he doesn't get hit by a Malphite ult, they are probably going to win the game.
Yeah.
They're going to do exactly that right now.
Yeah, this time we will see the end. This time they're in the base, and B&K, there was the one big slip up, but otherwise they were able to outplay Nongshim in this one. Better team coordination with the pre-built synergy this roster already has from 2025. As you mentioned, keeping the identity of the dive alive. Edo's debut, he puts the Nautilus in the jungle.
Edo.
You can't pick Nautilus into my Zeri anymore. 51,000 damage!
He did do double what Taeyun did. In Taeyun's defense, this game looked nigh impossible to play.
Yeah, the synergy.
나오는 거야. 야, 그래프 한번 볼게. 따라와. 앞에 볼게. 이거 싸움 크게 난다. 야, 빨리하자. 빨리지 말고. 사용. 봐봐. 나 그랩 천천히 돼. 그랩 해볼래? 빨리야. 앞에. 앞에. 달려볼게. 달려. 큐 막아줘. 안 죽어. 아, 라인. 라인 막아야 사용 정면이야.
야, 사이언 정면이다. 끝난 거 같아. 나이스.
야, 탱할게. 다음 라인 지켜도 끝나, 얘들아.
그냥 사이언 죽이면 된다, 얘들아.
야, 젤드 있죠.
사이언 죽여. 내역대 이거.
그래, 풀어줄게. 끝내자. 하루만 10초. 끝날 것 같아.